This conference will now be recorded.
Good evening to one and all present for the session today. So, today we will continue with the discussion of ledgers, what we had done yesterday. So, yesterday we had gone for the creation of ledgers under different groups, right? So, today we will go for the alteration and the deletion of ledgers in the Tally program. I think my screen is visible to all of you. I hope it's visible. The display is visible.
Yes, ma'am.
So, yesterday's class we had discussed about the ledger creations. Today we'll go for the alteration and the deletion of the ledgers. So, how do we edit the ledgers? How do we correct any information that has been already given at the time of ledger creations? How could we go about for the same? So, today we are going to go for the alteration and deletion of ledgers. So here I've given the path for you. Gateway of Tally. From Gateway of Tally, we're going to select Alter. We have to select the ledger, which is required to be altered, edited. Some corrections are required. We have to do the necessary alteration, and finally we have to save it either by using Control A or Enter. Okay. So let's go for the alteration of the ledgers. Yes. So I hope all of you are in the Gateway of Tally screen. So from the Gateway of Tally screen, we have after create, we have alter option. So press enter on the alter option. Select ledger under accounting masters.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, I've come back to the select company thing. Like, I don't know why.
So select your company, type of your alphabets of your company, and
Okay.
press enter. You come back.
Okay.
You come to the Gateway of Tally screen.
Okay, ma'am.
So here we have the list of ledgers appearing for all of you. Now, in these ledgers, let's say here I would choose State Bank of India, SBI Bank. I would choose this ledger. Okay, so I will choose SBI Bank. I press enter. So the SBI Bank ledger gets reopened. And here, if you observe, you have the ledger alteration window there, screen over here displayed. Yes. It is not a ledger creation window, but it is a ledger alteration window. Now, how we did the necessary alterations in the company alteration screen, In the same way, we also go for the ledger alteration. So we just update the details and create any ledger or company. But if we have to make any changes, do any updations, we have to do only in the alteration screen. We cannot even do the display screen also. Right? So here have taken the example of State Bank of India. Now I want to update the opening balance for State Bank of India. Now in my company's SBI bank account, currently I'm having 5 lakhs. So what do? I press enter, and I arrive at the opening balance. Yes. So I have arrived at the opening balance. So currently I'm having a bank balance of 5 lakhs in the State Bank of India bank account. So what do? I will type the amount as 5 lakhs. So I can add up the opening balance. So this is also one of the updations in the ledger alteration window. If you wish, you can change the name of the bank. In case by mistake you have given some other branch, you need some corrections to be made. You can do in the required ledger. So once I've put up the opening balance here, I press enter. Yes, I get the accept yes or no. So, so I've made the necessary alterations to the ledger. So once I make the necessary alterations, I accept the ledger alterations by using clicking enter. Okay. So press enter. Yes. So this is how we do the alteration of ledgers. So I'll show you in one more ledger again. I will go to Sham's capital account. Here also I will update the current capital balance of Sham, 7 lakhs. Enter, enter, like this. So like now here it is shares in Infosys. So I would define the ledger as shares in Wipro. Okay, you can do that. And what is the current value of the shares in Wipro also I can give. Let's say I'm having 2 lakhs or 2 lakhs worth of shares. Okay, so I can give up the opening balance and I can accept. So like this, in the alteration window, we can do any kind of updations, corrections. Okay, so anything would be okay. Now, once the alterations of ledgers are done, the next step is to delete the ledgers in Tally. Okay, so how to delete the ledgers? Now, how we went for the deletion of the company? We went to the company alteration window. From there, we clicked Alt plus D, D for delete. Once we clicked Alt plus D, it would ask you a question. Do you want to delete? If I give it as yes, are you sure? So finally, if you go and press enter, my company gets deleted. So the same path is followed even for the ledgers. If I have to delete a particular ledger, in my company's books of accounts, I have to go to the alteration screen. That's what I've given here. From the gateway of tally screen, we have to go to the alteration screen, select the ledger which is required to be deleted, and in the ledger alteration window, we have to go for Alt plus D, D for delete. So let's go back to the tally screen. Let's say I want to delete advertisement ledger. I will select the advertisement ledger, okay? And I don't want the advertisement ledger to exist. What would I do is I want to delete it. So what do? I press Alt D. So once I use Alt D, it has to get deleted. Okay?
Ma'am, Alt D.
Alt D, D for delete.
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
So like that. You can try with any ledger. Now here I have two furnitures account. So Alt D, I delete. Loss of state of assets. Again the ledger alteration window, Alt D, delete like this. Any ledger which you don't want it to exist in your company's books of accounts, you can delete. But please don't make an attempt to delete the default ledgers existing in Tally, that is cash and P&L. Other than the default creations, I think I told you once that the default creations can be altered but cannot be deleted by mistake, by chance. If you delete it, again to retrieve it back is a big procedure. So and is there is another effect, an adverse effect. So better don't go and delete the default ledgers what is existing in the Tally software. Whatever you have created, you can go for the deletion.
Ma'am,
All to be yes. Tell me.
how did you alter the opening balance?
Huh.
And
How do you add up the opening balance?
yes, ma'am. That's what I did.
Okay, nothing. You just go to the altar, select the ledger, select the ledger where you have to add up the opening balance. So I selected SBI Bank that time, right? So select the State Bank of India. Keep on pressing enter till you reach the opening balance. So type the opening balance. Now here I've given as 5 lakhs. Press enter, enter, and you get accept. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
So this is how we create, we alter, and we delete the ledgers. So yesterday I got a few questions that how could we edit the ledger? How can we make corrections? So I hope you have got all your answers that this is the way we alter the ledgers. So alteration doesn't mean only a change, but of course it is correction, updation, any kind of addition in details in the ledger creation window. Anything can be done in the ledger alteration window, including we have to delete the ledgers. We have to go in the ledger alteration window itself, right? So like this, we go for the discussion of the ledgers in Tally software. Right. So I hope everybody are clear with the creation, alteration, and deletion of ledgers. Yes. So next we go for is cost categories. What do we mean by the term cost categories? What do we understand by the same? Cost categories is nothing but they are referred as the head office or the main title of the business. By default, Tally creates a primary cost category which can be altered but cannot be deleted. So, I'll give a small example to explain this complete concept. Along with cost category, we also have the cost centers. Okay, so put together, I will give you an explanation. So here I've defined as cost category is referred as the head office or main title. By default, again we have a primary cost. Now it would begin from now, which is our default ledgers. We have cash and profit and loss account, and how many they are two, right? So Yes, we have two default ledgers, cash and P&L. How many groups we have? We have 28 predefined groups, out of which 15 are primary, 13 are subgroups. Now, next comes, which is our default cost category. It is primary cost category. Yes, the default cost category is primary cost category. Now, same principle will apply. This can be altered but cannot be deleted. So, if I would like to change the name from primary cost category to any other name, I can go for it. But I cannot go and delete the default cost category what is created by the Tally software. Path I've given you, I will discuss about the path later, but let me explain what do we mean by cost centers. Cost centers are referred as sub branches of the company. By default, Tally will not create any cost center. So it will create the primary cost category. But when it comes to the cost centers, Tally will not create any default cost center. And what role does a cost center play? These cost centers are used to allocate the income and the expenses of the company. So if we have to go for sub-allocation of any income or expenses of the company, the best way I can say we can do is through these cost categories and cost centers. Okay, so how to go about it? Let's check. Now I'll give you a small example for the same. Now we have seen a few common hotels, right? We see Adigas, we see SLV, we see A to B Anand Bhavan, right? So commonly, I can say seen or visited hotels are these, right? Now the Adigas group of hotels has so many branches within Bangalore itself. Yes, countless. So also, if you see the carry bags, it will be listed. Visit our other branches also, right? So the establishments or the companies which are having more than one branch or more than one outlet, yeah, so they have kind of multiple branches or multiple outlets. How do they go or how do they do the accounting for the same? There lies the question. So here I've taken the example of Adidas. Okay. Now the Adidas hotel, okay, let's assume that it is having five branches. It is having more than five, 20, 25 plus branches. I'm just taking an example of five branches. Okay, so one it is having in Richmond Circle, another branch in Jayanagar, one more in JP Nagar, Kormangla, another one in Vasant. Okay. So Adidas Hotel is having five branches. One in Richmond Circle, second is Jayanagar, third JP Nagar, Kormangla and Vasant. Okay. Now, totally there are five branches existing. Now, all the branches, uh, it is not a compulsion that all the branches have to be owned by Adidas. They could be taken on rent also. And when it is taken on rent, the question comes that is the same amount of rent payable for all the branches in Richmond Circle, Jayanagar, JP Nagar, Kormangla, Vasant Nagar? Do you pay
No,
the
ma'am.
same rent? Not
No, ma'am.
possible. Yes. So what happens, even though we go for our occupation, residence, where we go for a rented house, okay, if we want a rented house, whether it is 2 BHK or 1 BHK, it will always depend upon the area. So area wise, the rent will also vary. In the same way, this also happens. So let's say I maintain the accounts of Adigas Hotel. So here now for the month of September, the previous month, now rent has to be paid by 10th October. Okay. So by day after, rent has to be cleared for all these five branches. So rent has been already paid for all these five branches. Now I have to update the same entry in my tally. Yes. So that work I have to take care. Now for Richmond Circle, the rent paid is 1,75,000, and for Jayanagar, 1,25,000, 1 lakh for Kormangla, 95. So like this. So every branch has one amount of rent. It is not the same for all the branches. So here for different branches, we have different amount of rent involved. Now as an accountant, if I have to pass an entry for rent paid for the month of September, as I told, I now have to pay by 10th of October. How do I go for it? How do I pass the entry? I have to put up five branches now. So here, as an accountant, I usually pass the entry as rent paid account debtor to bank account. Yes, so that is a common entry we pass. But I have passed the entry right. Thing is, how do I give the breakup? Now the total amount of rent here is 6,15,000. Okay, so this is the amount of rent I am having. Right, so this is the total amount of rent which has to be paid. Okay, yeah. Now this rent, how do I portray in the Tally software? As an accountant, I pass the entry as rent paid debit 6,15,000, let's say through checks or e-fund transfer, whatever the mode can be, HDFC Bank, 6,15,000. So this is the way I pass the entry. Rent paid debtor to HDFC Bank, 6,15,000. Now whatever entry I have passed, it is 100% correct. But here, am I giving a breakup? I'm just giving up the total figure here. But for each branch, what is the quantum of rent applicable and payable? There is no breakup here. Yes. So this is the time where we use the cost category and the cost centers. Yes. The best ways to apply the cost categories and cost centers. Now, what role does it play? Now, Richmond Circle, Jayanagar, JP Nagar, Kormangla, and Basant Nagar. Where are all these areas situated? It is in Bangalore. Yes. So, Bangalore becomes the cost category, and Kormangla, Jayanagar, Richmond Circle, JP Nagar, Basant Nagar, all these become what? Cost centers. So all these take the position of cost centers, and all these areas situated where in Bangalore, Bangalore becomes a cost category. So by using the cost category and cost centers, we can give a breakup that for which outlet or for which branch, what is the amount of rent that is being paid or that is paid. Okay, so when we execute it in the voucher form, you can have a complete clarity. Okay, with the usage of cost categories and cost centers. So which means here the total amount of rent payable here is how much? 6 lakh 50. So this is the total amount of rent. So just now what I explained in the cost category, this is referred as the head office or main title of the business, right? So where is the head office here? All are there in in Bangalore. So Bangalore becomes the head here. And this, and what is the cost center? It is referred as the sub branches of the company. So if we have to go for the sub allocation of the incomes and expenses, now here we have taken the example of rent. So I have to go for the sub allocation of rent expense. I can use up this cost categories and cost centers. Okay, so this is how it takes place. So the cost category here becomes Bangalore. The cost centers become all these places or areas in Bangalore. Okay, so this is how the cost category cost center works. Now I'll give you a small example. So let me see how can you give the cost category. Okay, so you have the silk showroom. You can take Pothys, you take Kalamandir, Kalaniketan, or whichever. You also have jewelries, right? You have GRT, you have Joya Lucas, Malabar Gold, and all. So let me take the example of GRT jewelers. So they would have given as, say, visit our other branches. Let's say you would have purchased in Bangalore. They would have given as visit our other branches. I know one in the calendar or the carry bag you see, right? At Chennai, Trivandrum, Pune. One is in Jaipur. Okay, so Pune, Chennai, Jaipur, Trivandrum, Bangalore. All these are the branches of GRT Jewelers. So if I take all these branches as cost centers, what can I create as cost category? What could be the cost category? I will repeat it again. The cost centers for GRT Jewelers, the branches I can say, is Bangalore. I'll give it up in the list here. Okay. So for GRT Jewelers, they are situated in Bangalore, Chennai, Telangana, Pune, Mumbai, Ranchi, Jaipur, Noida. Exactly. Now here, if I have to go for the accounting of all these branches, all these become my cost centers for sure. But what can I create as cost category?
India, ma'am.
India? Yes, it is India because it covers both north and south. Suppose I'm covering all the southern places or the northern places, you can also give it as southern or the northern based cost categories. Very good. So this is how we go for the creation of cost categories and cost centers. Now in the Tally's Prime
Yes,
software,
ma'am.
how can we create these cost categories and cost centers? Let's check it out.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Now,
Can you just again explain in brief what is cost category? I did not understand.
cost category is nothing but it is It is the head office or the main title of the business. Okay. So here we have now I've taken here five branches, right, which you can see in the screen. I've taken here Richmond Circle, Jayanagar, JP Nagar, Kormangla, and Vasantnagar. Let's say in all these five branches, Adigas Hotel has an outlet. Okay. Now, if I have to pay rent for all these five branches, aggregating to a total amount of 6,15,000. Here I've given what is the amount of rent applicable for each of the branches. And as you know that the rent will not be the same for all the branches. It widely depends upon the area. Yeah, the locality where the hotel is situated. So accordingly, I've given the rent amount here. Now the total rent payable for Adigas Hotel for the month of September is 6,15,000. So this 6,15,000 has been paid out, okay, or has to be paid by 10th October. Anyhow, we can take up. The total amount of rent payable is 6,15,000. Now, as an accountant, how do I pass the entry? I'll pass it as rent paid account to HDFC Bank. This is how we pass the entry, right? Debit the expenses, credit the bank account. So I pass the entry like this. But here, can I give a breakup that for which branch, what is the quantum of rent that is involved? No, I cannot give. So if I have to give a breakup for the rent payment for all these branches, the best way I can do is to implement the concept of cost categories and cost centers, where how do I name the cost categories and cost centers? Here I've given five branches, right? All these five branches become cost centers. Richmond Circle, Jayanagar, JP Nagar, Kormangla, and Vasantnagar. All these areas or localities are situated where? In Bangalore. Yes? So Bangalore becomes the cost category, and cost centers are all these branches. So cost category takes the place of a group. Now, how you created various ledgers under different groups, right? Like land and building, plant and machinery, furnitures, and other fixed assets group. Like the same way, cost category takes the role of a captain or the head of all the cost centers. That's why it is defined as the head office, while cost centers, of course, is used for the sub allocation of the main income or sub allocation of the main expense. Is it clear now?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
So now let's go back to the tally screen and let's start with the cost categories and cost centers. So here I've given the directory that how to go about it. Yes. So first we have to activate the cost categories. I've clearly defined the path over here. From the gateway of tally under masters, we're going to select the create option. Okay, so let's go for that. Then I'll go for show inactive. Okay, so under gateway of tally, we have under masters, create, select create. Now here, can you see there is no way, there is no cost category, cost center only. So it is hidden, it is inactive. So what you have to do is, can you see here, we have show more at the top. After change company, you have show more option at the top. So press enter on show more. Again, you see there's no cost category and cost centers. So it is still hidden. It's not an, it is inactive. So what do I do? I have to select show inactive. Select show inactive and press enter. Yes. So here can you see after ledger you have cost category. It is light. It is not dark and bold like others. It is appearing very light, which means cost category has not been activated yet in our company. All of you are able to get this cost category here. Okay.
Can
So
I just repeat again?
are you in the gateway of tally screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Go to the create option. Select
Okay.
show more. Select show inactive. Can you see cost categories appearing here?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Press enter on that. If you press enter on that, see there is a question at the top. Can you see? Question added information. First of all, primary cost category exists by default for the company. So here only you have got the information. Which is the default cost category for the company? Primary cost category. That's what I've given here also in the note, that primary cost category exists by default. Yes. This can be altered but cannot be deleted. So the same information I have put up in the tally screen. Primary cost category exists by default. Do you want to alter? You have the right only to alter but not to delete the primary cost category. Do you want to alter the primary cost category or create a new one? So as of now, what we can do is we can go for create new. So press enter on C, create new. Now a question arrives. You need to enable the cost center feature for your company. Enable now. So what you do? Enter, press enter and accept it. Yes. So all of you are able to get the cost category creation window. Any of you are not able to get, you can just unmute yourself and ask before we proceed to create the cost
Ma'am, could you
category
please
feature.
repeat it?
From where you want me to repeat it?
The cost category. Yeah. I'm not getting the option of creating one.
Press enter on cost category. You get a question like this: do you want to alter primary cost category or create a new one? Now you've got create new and alter existing. Yes. So once you get this, select create new. How do you select create new? Press enter on that. Are you able to get it? And now you get the cost category creation window. Okay. The rest are able to get this cost category creation screen.
Yes, ma'am.
So now we will create the cost category. That's what I've given the same path here. See. Click on show inactive. Under show inactive, select create new cost category, or if you wish, you can go for alter primary cost category, which is a default cost category existing in the Tally software. Okay, so cost centers. Yes. So this is the table which I wanted to convey you the exact meaning of cost categories and cost centers. Yes, so here I've given as creation of cost categories and cost centers. See here, with this you have a clear depiction. Now I have taken here three cost categories: Bangalore, Karnataka, Maharashtra. So, assuming that I'm having three branches in all these places, in Bangalore I'm having three branches of my company. In Karnataka, as Karnataka is my cost category, I'm having three branches. In Karnataka, in Maharashtra, I'm having three branches. Okay. So, if I talk about Bangalore, I'm having outlets in Jainagar, Kormangla, and Vasantnagar. Then, if I take as Karnataka, I'm having in three places, three districts, that is Bangalore, Mysore, and Mangalore. If I take Maharashtra, I'm having in Mumbai, Pune, and Thane. Okay, so we are going to create all these cost categories and cost centers. So let's go. Now here, what we are going to do is, first we have to create the cost categories. We have three cost categories here. We have Bangalore, we have Karnataka, we have Maharashtra. So first we have to create these three first, and then we have to create the cost centers. Okay, so how can we go about the same? Now coming back to the tally screen, we have the cost category creation window. Yes, so here there is name. So in the name you type as Bangalore. And as I told, we are not going to put up the nickname or the short name, that is the alias. You can just ignore it. Press enter, enter, yes. Now allocate revenue items, let it be yes. Allocate non-revenue items, let it be no itself. We are not going to make changes for these two features. How they are appearing, let they remain the same. Allocate revenue yes, non-revenue no. Okay. So once you type the name as Bangalore, press enter, enter. You get the accept yes or no, and press enter to accept the cost category create. So all of you are able to create the first cost category, Bangalore.
Yes.
Okay, yes. So we go for the next one, that is Karnataka. Same. Name Karnataka, allocate revenue yes, non-revenue no. Then Maharashtra, allocate revenue yes, non-revenue no. Okay, so after creating these cost categories and cost centers, okay, I hope all of you have created the all the three cost categories. Now we have to go for the cost center creation. So what we have to do is you have to just press the escape key only once. Press the escape key. It will show you quit. Quit yes or no. Press escape key again. Yes. So you come back to the list of masters. Okay. Master creation screen. Under master creation screen, you get the list of masters. Now we have created the cost category, right? Now it is the time to create the cost centers. So what you do is you have to select cost center here and press enter. Your cost center creation window appears. Now what we have to do? Under Bangalore, we have to create Jayanagar, Kormangla, Vasantnagar. We'll take one by one. Okay. So first we have to choose Bangalore. So first we have to choose the cost category. Under the category, we have to create the cost centers. So what we'll do is the category field is left blank here. So we have to use space bar. Press space bar. Yes, you get the list of categories displayed here. One thing you should always remember whenever you see a dialog box here, when there is a prompt, okay, the only answer for that is spacebar. Yes. You gradually watch out, witness it in all the vouchers whenever we are doing it. Okay. So now what I'll do, I will choose Bangalore as my cost category. So I will select Bangalore as my cost category. Now under Bangalore, I'm having three places: Jayanagar, Kormangla, and Vasantnagar. So I'll type Jayanagar. And it has to be under primary itself. There is no change. Okay, certain fields, certain features, you are not supposed to disturb it. So it is under primary itself. Okay, accept yes. Next is code mangla under primary yes. Pasand nagar Other primary, accept, yes. Okay. So all of you have created for Bangalore the cost centers. Yes. Is it done for Bangalore successfully?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Good, good. So now this is most important for all of us. Now currently we are seeing category as Bangalore. Now I have to swap or change from Bangalore to Karnataka. How do I do it? I had told you in the beginning itself when we are going for the company creation to move up, which is the key we have to use? Backspace.
Backspace.
Yes, backspace first. Then to get the list, spacebar. First, you have to select backspace. You go up, back. You go back to the category. Once you go back to the category by using backspace, press spacebar. And moment you press spacebar, you get the list of categories displayed. Okay, so it is backspace and spacebar. So now we will shift from Bangalore to Karnataka. So select Karnataka. Yes. Now under Karnataka, we have Bangalore, we have Mysore, we have Mangalore. You can also put any other, city. So any other district. So I've put it as Mysore. Under primary, everything will remain under primary. Please don't change it all. It is only under primary itself. Bangalore, Mangalore. Like this, you can list out. So, which are the three cost centers we have created under Karnataka? It is Bangalore, Mysore, and Mangalore. If you have not created, create it. Then we can go on to Maharashtra. Okay, so now we'll go to Maharashtra. Now we're gonna have to change from Karnataka to Maharashtra. So same key, backspace, spacebar, Maharashtra. Yes, Mumbai under primary only, Pune and Thane. Yeah, so this is the way we create the cost categories and cost centers in the Tally software. Right. So I'll display the cost category cost centers again. In case you have left incomplete, you can finish it. The table is displayed for you. You can look up the table and you can do it simultaneously if you haven't done. Okay. So now we have done with the cost categories and cost centers. Yes. So now we'll move on to the next big thing, that is golden rules of accounting. I think I told you when I was discussing about the basics that I would discuss this when I have to start with the vouchers in time. All of us are well versed with this, right? And this was covered in our PUC, first or second PU, right? And of course, we say it's a basic of accountancy. Okay, what is debit, what comes in, credit, what goes out. Yes, but I will tell you one thing, it is not named simply as the golden rule. Yes, it has a golden touch for all your journal entries. Once you are thorough with these golden rules, any entry you can pass in Tally. It becomes dead easy for you to pass the entries. So I'll just go for a quick discussion of these three types of accounting. Okay, so under golden rules of accounting, we have real account, we have personal account, and we have nominal account. So what is this real account basically is? Moment we talk about real account, we will leave the rule we know, debit what comes in, credit what goes out. But which is the category, or this rule is applicable for what? So I've given here, this rule is applicable to all the assets of the business. Moment we talk about the assets of the business, the real account rule applies. Now, when we talk about the assets, we have a widened category or categorization of assets, right? We have the fixed assets, we have current assets. Now, under fixed assets, of course, of course, first of all, we have the tangible, intangible assets. Then we have the investments, the long-term investments. So, like this, the category is huge. So, moment we talk about assets, it can be tangible, intangible, all the investments all belong to the category of real account. Okay, rather I can say the asset side of your, uh, not exactly asset side of your balance sheet, but still, moment I talk about the real, it focuses on the assets of the business. Okay, we have here cash, land and building, plant and machinery, furnitures and fixtures, trademarks. Now, what are these trademarks, copyrights, royalty, goodwill, and all these? What are they categorized as? They're categorized as intangible assets. So they are also covered under the concept of real account. So what is the rule of real? Debit what comes in, credit what goes out. The next we have is personal account. So what's a personal account? Moment we talk about person, okay? So personal. So in this personal account, we focus on three types of persons. One we have is this natural person, like you and me, right? We are all natural persons. We can talk, we can walk, we can sign the agreement, make any transaction. Natural persons. Not only natural persons, of course, we also have artificial persons, banks, your college, school, they are all artificial persons. Apart from natural and artificial, we also have representative personal account. Okay, so moment we talk about personal account, it covers natural persons, artificial persons, and representative personal account. So here I've given at the bottom a few examples. Aman, natural person. Ram and Sons, of course, artificial person. Then we have this outstanding salary, prepaid expenses. All these are representative personal accounts. Bank account, artificial person. App store again, artificial person. So all these form part of the personal account. The rule applies here: debit the receiver, credit the giver. The last one we have is nominal account. Nominal account says all debit all expenses and losses, credit all the incomes and gains, or incomes and profit. So this rule is applicable to what all? This rule is applicable to all expenses, income, profits, and losses. I can tell you the best way to link your nominal account is, you know what? Your trading profit and loss account. Okay? The debits and the credits are equivalent to your nominal account. Yes, so whatever appears on the debit side of your trading, except of course the opening stock, gross profit, and the rest. Example like carriage inwards, then free samples, then consumption of electricity, gas, water. They all become direct expenses, right? Whatever appears on the debit side of profit and loss account all becomes indirect expenses, like rent, wage, wage becomes a direct expense, rent, salaries, advertisement expenses, then we have loss on sale of any assets. So all they fall to that category. If I come to the credit side, that is direct incomes, okay, and indirect incomes. Direct incomes, of course, whatever income you have earned, gained primarily on the business activity. Coming to indirect incomes, we have discount received, commission received, uh, like this. So profit on sale of any assets. All these form part of the P&L account. So that's why I've given here. This rule is applicable to all expenses, income, losses or profits. So debit all expenses and losses, credit all the incomes and gains. Example here I've given here: salary, wages, purchases, sales, commission received, etc. Okay, so this to be understood is very important for us to pass the vouchers. Okay, right. So now we will begin with the contra vouchers. Yes, yes. So here we have the accounting vouchers. We also have certain accounting come inventory vouchers, but in brief, I've given as accounting vouchers. So the first one which we have to solve is today contra voucher. Okay, so we'll have to go about the contra voucher. Okay, so let's go for it. Yes. So here I've given the function keys: a contra F4, payment F5, receipt F6, F7 journal, F8 sales, F9 purchase, Alt F5 debit note, F6 credit note. Non-accounting vouchers also we have, that is optional sales and memorandum vouchers. Okay, so let's go for the next step. Yes. So this is what we have discussed here is contra vouchers. Now, all of you would have passed contra entries for sure. What we do whenever we have to pass contra entries, okay, it is C, we mark up with the brackets, yes. We write a small c in the brackets, it's contra, yeah, to signify the particular entry. So, what do we mean by contra entries? Cash to bank, bank to cash, and inter-bank transfer, that is e-fund transfers from one bank to another bank. So here I've given what kind of transactions are covered for contra-based entries. We have deposit of cash into the bank, withdrawal of cash from the bank, transfer of cash from one bank to another bank. Yes. So only these three transactions find a place in the contra voucher. Contra voucher doesn't allow a user to pass any other entry, any other record other than the contra entries. It will restrict you. Even though by mistake you want to create, by mistake I'm telling you, if you want to create an expense ledger or any income ledger, it will not allow you to pass the voucher. It will caution you there. Only cash or bank has to be debited or credited, which you can witness it when we are passing the vouchers. So what is a functional key? As I told, it is F4. So F4 is defined for contra voucher. So even the form of course, flows I've given here. That is, it is used for transfer of funds between cash and bank. See, when I'm going for a deposit of cash into the bank, bank becomes the what? Bank is an artificial person. So what's the rule of personal account? Debit the receiver, credit the giver. So bank is receiving the funds, okay, from my company and depositing the same into the company's bank account. So bank is receiver, yes, and debit deposit of cash, cash is going out of the company, So cash is going out to the bank. Withdraw, it is a reversal from bank. It is being withdrawn. The amount has been withdrawn of cash. Third, we have is this transfer of cash from one bank to another bank. If you go for the e-fund transfers, as I told, the RTGS, okay, and NEFT fund transfers, that time one bank account gets debited, another bank account gets credited. Okay, yes, with the amount. So one is debited, other will be credited. And at the bottom also, I have given you the path. Gateway of Tally. Under Gateway of Tally, transactions. Under transactions, we have vouchers. Then you have to choose F4. Okay. Yes, this is very, very important for us. Practical exercise on contra vouchers. We have to start. But before that, to understand this syntax is extremely important. Now, we have a syntax of credit and debit. Now, usually, how do we pass the entry? We first debit the account and then credit another account. Yes. So, first is debtor, then we have to this particular account. But when we talk about the contra vouchers, the first aspect what appears is the credit aspect. The second aspect, of course, is the debit aspect. Now can you see the brackets I've given, either it is cash or back. No other ledger, a third party ledger can interfere with the contra vouchers. Okay, so I'll just show you a small example how to exhibit the same, this credit aspect and debit aspect. Okay, now I'll give a small example. Deposit of cash of rupees 2000 into Canada Bank. This is a transaction. Deposit of cash of rupees 2000 into Canada Bank. Now, what is the usual way of passing the entry? Canada Bank,
Debtor to bank account.
yes, debtor to bank account. Yeah, debtor to Canada Bank account, debtor to cash. Cash is going out. Okay, so here, and what is the amount? 1 minute. Yeah. This is how we pass the entry, right? So debit, cash, and the amount like this will appear. This is the usual way all of us pass Canada Bank account debtor to cash account because cash is going out of the company into the Canada Bank. So of course, here Canada Bank is what? It is a personal account, artificial person, and the personal account rule appears: debit the receiver, credit the giver. So when I am taking the funds and depositing into the bank becomes the receiver. Yes, it will receive funds from my side, from my company, and then deposit the same into the bank account. So debit the receiver, debit Canada Bank. Now a cash of 2000 is going out of the company. I told you that time cash and profit and loss account are two default ledgers. In that we have cash, and that cash is nothing but cash in hand, the emergency cash or the hard or the physical cash what is kept by the company. So from that cash, I take 2000 rupees. So cash is going out of the company. So credit what goes out. That's why we credit the cash. So this is how we pass the entry. Now in contra voucher, how do we go? Canada Bank is debit. To cash means what? It is credit only, right? Yes. Now in contra, how do we pass the same entry? I told that the credit aspect appears first and then the debit aspect appears next. Yes, so this is the way we do. Now here, what is appearing in the credit part? It is cash. What is appearing on the debit side? It is bank. Okay, and this is how we pass the entry in the contra voucher. Yes. So how can you analyze this? It's the same entry we are passing, but here the positions are changing. That's all. Credit is cash only, debit is Canara Bank only. There is no change of that. But here, the position of credit and debit aspect is different in contra voucher, where credit appears first and debit appears next. So accordingly, what is the credit aspect? It is cashier. So I've put up the cashier. And what is the debit aspect? It is Canara Bank. So I've put up the Canara Bank. So which means what? Position changes, but the entry remains the same. Yes, I think all of you agree with position changes, but the entry remains the same. Now the same entry we have to pass in Tally software under the contra vouchers. Okay, like this. So I have given a couple of practical exercises for contra. Yes, so the same syntax I've shown you. Yes. So we have got these list of contra vouchers here. Deposit of cash of 5,000 into the ICICI Bank. Second is withdrawal of cash of 3,000 from HDFC Bank. Transfer of cash of 1,500 from ICICI Bank to HDFC Bank. Then withdrawal of cash of 10,000 from HDFC and syndicate. Then again deposit for two banks, and last is open a bank account with SBI. So we have different entries here. So one by one we'll go very carefully. So the first I've given this deposit of cash of 5,000 into ICICI Bank. Company is depositing 5,000 rupees into the ICICI Bank. So this, how can we pass the entry? But before that, we have two steps to follow or two steps to learn. What I've given as step one, to alter the negative cash ledger. So we cannot pass the voucher directly. Okay, that will be the other way of passing the entry. What we have to do is we have to alter the negative cash ledger. What is this altering of negative cash ledger? Now, I hope all of you are in the gateway of Tally screen. Now, in the gateway of Tally screen, under Masters, we have the question of alter. Yes, press enter on alter. Yes. Now, select ledgers. Now, select cash. Yes. So, what you can observe when you're selecting this particular ledger, here everything is fine, but what is the opening balance here? It is 0, right? So as I told in the last class that cash in hand is nothing but what is the emergency funds, emergency cash kept by the company in its lot, right? So I will assume that currently there is a cash of there is a cash amount or a cash value of rupees 4,50,000. So I'll type the amount under opening balance by pressing enter. Yes, 4,50,000. So when I type the opening balance, I have to press enter. Yes. So here automatically I'll get DR. So DR means what? It is debit. Again, all assets have debit balances, all liabilities have credit balances. Okay. So now once you put up the opening balance of cash, here I've given us 4,50,000. Press enter, accept. So all of you are able to alter the cash account and give the minimum or the opening balance.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Done, done. So now what we'll do is we'll go back to the gateway of tally screen. So what is the first step I've given here? To alter the negative cash ledger, which we have done. What is the second step? Pass the contra voucher. Now what is the first entry I've given here? That I've explained to the Canada Bank, right? Same with the ICICI. Deposit of cash of 5,000 into ICICI Bank. So as an accountant, what I will do? I will take 5,000 cash. I will deposit in the ICICI Bank. Okay, I'm not going for any fund transfer or Google Pay or whatever digital payment. Rather, I'll take the 5,000 rupees and I will deposit into the ICICI Bank. Okay, of my company's bank account. Now, what happens here is how to pass the entry. So, for that, from gateway of tally, you have vouchers. Okay, so press enter on vouchers. Yes. Now you would be in a payment voucher. Please look up, it will be payment voucher. Can you see where the pointer is? Where the screen is displayed? It will be a payment voucher here. So first job is you have to go to the contra voucher. So what is the function key F4 for contra voucher? It is F4. So if you go to F4, you get the contra voucher. All of you are able to get the contra voucher.
Can you show from beginning, please?
Are you in the gateway of tally?
Yes, ma'am.
Press enter on vouchers. Now, if you're having any payment voucher or any receipt voucher, just need to press F4. Now, for most of the laptops, if you go to F4 directly, it will not come, as I told yesterday. Try once F4. If you're not able to get contra, what you can do is in your laptops, you can just click together FN, there is a function key, FN, F4 together. Then you get contra voucher. Is that fine? Now here, coming to the contra voucher, can you see here? It is directly visible. Credit is there, debit is there. Now, before processing, of course, we have one common issue here. Not exactly an issue, but a common setup of the screen. Now, for some of you, the screen would be appearing in this way: account, particulars, amount.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am.
Yes. Okay. Now, this screen, what you're watching, is the single entry mode. Single entry system of bookkeeping, all of you would be aware, yes, where there is neither debit or credit aspect involved. Double entry system, where we have for every transaction We have the debits and the credits, debit the receiving, credit the giving. So currently what you're watching here, account is there, particulars amount, it is in a single entry. Now we require the double entry mode of bookkeeping. So what all of you have to do is listen to me carefully. Yes. Can you see this is the vertical button bar? Yes. On your right hand side of your screen, in the vertical button bar, there is a concept as change mode option. Change mode. And what is the key for that? It is Control H. So what you have to do is press enter on change mode or press Control H. It will give you two options. You want a single entry mode or you want a double entry mode. So what do? I would select double entry mode. Once select double entry, press enter. Now all of you are able to get only particulars. Now again I'll ask one more question. Are you getting to or by or debit and credit?
Two
Two
or
or
by.
by.
I could analyze it. So yes, so now what you have to do is you have to use F12 configure. You have your F12 configure right at the bottom in the vertical button bar. So use press F12 configure. There is a first option there. Use credit or debit instead of to and by. It will be no in your screen. So what you should do? You should turn it as yes. All of you have done. Once you activate it as yes, just press Ctrl A and save the changes. Now all of you are able to get credit and debit now in the contra voucher. Good. Okay, good. Yes, all have got? Okay. Now let's pass the entry.
Ma'am, I have not got.
What you have got?
I have not got credit and debit option.
You pressed F12 configuration? Press F12 configuration first from contra voucher. The first feature is there. See, use credit or debit instead of to and by during voucher entry. Activate it as yes. Have you done that? Once you activate it as yes, either you press enter, or also you can use control A. So enter, come back to the contra voucher screen. Now you're able to get credit and debit instead of to and by.
Mom, can you just show it again, please?
Hmm?
Can
What
you
happened?
just show it again, Mom?
Please, I'm repeating it again. Please make sure that whoever have not got the configuration, please do watch out for the same. Now, from vouchers, you have gone to the contra voucher. Okay. Now here it would be like to and by. If you're getting to and by, you have to convert the to and by to debit and credit. So what you have to do is, if you can observe in the vertical button bar, there is a key as F12 configure. F12 is configure. See where the pointer is showing you here, F12 configure. Press enter on F12 configure, and then you get the general details and the bank details and the configuration. Are you able to get? Now here, use credit or debit instead of to and by during voucher entry. This make it sure it is yes. Is it yes for you? The one who is not able to get debit and credit instead of to and by. Okay. So once you make it as yes, control A. Huh?
I'm not able to see that credit and debit on my accounting voucher creation screen.
What happened?
As you said, I did the changes, but when you are on your accounting voucher creation screen,
Huh.
before the particulars, you have that credit and debit option.
Huh.
But in my screen, I'm not able to see that.
What you're able to see in your screen?
Before particulars in your screen, if you could see there's credit and debit option. Like the word debit and debit is written on your screen.
Huh.
But
Wait,
in
wait,
my
wait, wait.
screen, I'm not able to see that.
Now, see, you can you watch at my you can watch at my screen, right? Now you're able to
Yes,
get the
ma'am.
same way.
Yes, ma'am.
That's it. Oh, you have two credits and debits, is it?
No, ma'am. For me, that credit is only not there. It's like just particulars, and like the next time, it's plain. You have credit written there. So is it typed or it is?
No, it's not type. Okay, you're getting like this screen, particulars amount.
Yes, ma'am. It's the plain screen. Yes, ma'am.
That's what I've told you, no? You have to listen carefully when I'm doing it. See, that's what I'll repeat it again. See, be very conscious because this is very crucial for you to start the vouchers. That's why. Now, you're in contra voucher. Now, for both, I'll repeat it again. Please listen to it very much, very carefully. Now, for the ones who are getting like this account and then particulars amount, there is no debit and credit only. This is a single entry mode. So we have to convert the single entry mode to a double entry mode. Okay. So for that, you have to use the change mode option. Change mode option is appearing where? In this vertical button bar, which is at the right hand side of your screen. Can you see here? Change mode is there. Control H. Control H change mode. So if you click on change mode, can you see there are two options, double entry and single entry. Okay, so what you have to do, what it is showing here, it is showing that single entry mode is highlighted, which is showing in like yellow color. Okay, so what you have to do, you have to shift from single entry to double entry, and what you have to do, you have to press enter on the same. Okay, now this is solved. Now no more that account is coming at the top.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I got it. Thank you.
Now to and by you're getting a credit or debit.
No, ma'am, I'm getting credit and debit.
Done, done. So I think now we can begin the entries. All are clear with this, or anyone is stuck up not getting the credit or debit and the double entry mode. I hope all are clear. Okay. So what is the first entry? Deposit of cash of 5,000 into ICICI Bank. Now that time we had made an entry to deposit of 2,000 into a Canara Bank, right? So I'll replace your rate. Please don't pass the entry. I'll pass it along with you. See, deposit of cash of 5,000 into ICICI Bank, right? Yes. So, normally how do you pass the entry? ICICI Bank debtor 5,000 to cash 5,000. Yes, this is the usual way of passing the ledger. ICICI Bank debtor to cash account. In Tally, how do you pass? What I told you, that the credit aspect appears first, debit aspect appears next. Yes. So what is appearing in the credit aspect? It is cash. So credit cash. And what is appearing in the debit aspect? It is ICICI Bank. So it is ICICI Bank here. That's it. Positions change, but the effect remains the same. And this is how you pass in the contra voucher, credit ICICI, credit cash, debit ICICI Bank. Okay. So what you select in the credit aspect, cash. Once you select cash, can you see the current balance that is showing? Whatever you have deposited, right? Or currently what company is having. Now I have put up the opening balance as 4 lakh 50. Now, how much I'm depositing into ICICI Bank? 5,000 rupees. So I'll type it as 5,000 and press enter. Now you would have come on the debit. Here you have to be very careful, man. Please don't type anything here. DR it is there, right? Debit. Don't type anything here. Immediately press enter till you get the list of ledger accounts. That screen. Okay. Now, what is the? I mean, to which bank I'm depositing? Into ICICI Bank. Now, if I see in the list of ledgers, I'm having only SBI. There is no ICICI Bank. So I have to create ICICI Bank. Now I will not go back to the gateway of Tally, create ledger and create ICICI Bank. Can you see here? Tally software has given a option of create here itself, which is at the top in the list of ledgers. You have it at the top, create option. Okay, so select create. Okay, just a second.
Excuse me, mom.
Yeah, yes,
Ma'am,
ma'am.
I've got credit, and debit.
Let it be, let it be. So when you're passing the entry, you can correct it. Okay, it'll happen. Now, credit, no, debit is coming. Now, what you do is, it is coming like this for you, CR and CR.
Yes, ma'am.
So, what you do, you make it into DR. DR is what? Debit. Once you type DR, press enter. Now, you have got credit and debit. Yes?
Ma'am.
Okay. Now, I told that ICICI Bank is not existing. So I have to create ICICI Bank. So what do I do? I hope all of you have got the list of ledgers, right? So in that, you have the create option at the top, right? So select the create option and press enter. Yes, and this is the spot creation of ledgers in that, which means without quitting the current voucher screen, I can create ledgers on spot. Yes, I need not close the voucher screen, go back to the gateway of Tally, create ledgers. Instead, while passing the entry itself, I can create the ledgers on spot. Okay. Now here, what you have to do is you have to type ICICI Bank. Now ICICI Bank comes under which group? Now I've created so many ledgers right in the last class. ICICI Bank comes under the group of bank account.
Bank
Don't choose
accounts.
bank. Very good. Bank account. And as I told, account number, IFSC code, branch, I will leave it to you. If you have to enter, you enter. Of course, in practicality, reality, you have to update all these details. That's a compulsion. But as of now, for the class sake, you can just press enter. Not an issue.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
at the left side, bank name, ma'am, it's
Yeah.
saying it's not applicable. So if we want, we can edit, right, ma'am?
We can't edit that. I told in the last class, right? They're using a trial version. See.
Right, ma'am. Sorry, sorry.
Uh, it not give you if it gives you all the amenities and benefits. Who will go for a licensed user or to become a trial user?
Yes,
It will
ma'am.
hold some limitations. Okay. Yeah. So now when you create the ICICI Bank, what you do? Enter, accept, yes. Yes. So you have passed the first entry. Credit cash, debit ICICI Bank 5,000. Now let me know, all of you have got this entry, how I've passed here.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
very good.
No, ma'am.
Now, who is not? What happened? Where are you stuck? Huh? Your voice is breaking, huh?
Can you hear me now?
Huh? Little louder. No.
What
So
did I
you know
press?
what? I think your voice is breaking. Network, probably network issue. Can you put up in the chat box? I'll
Yes.
come to know that. Huh? Better. Kashish, right? So you put up in the chat box. Probably then I'll come back to it because your voice is breaking. That's now. So after debit ICICI Bank, what you do is press enter on that amount. Now you've got this bank allocation screen for ICICI Bank.
Yes, ma'am.
Good.
Yes, ma'am.
Now here, super. Now what happens here is transaction type it is showing as cash. Amount it is showing as 5,000. Now Tally is communicating to you that how are you depositing 5,000 rupees? I have to convey Tally in the Tally software that I'm using the cash, the hard cash. So transaction type will remain as cash itself. Yes, I'm not using some check or I'm not using e-fund transfer, right? I'm taking cash, depositing into the bank. So it is cash itself. So what do? I will not make any changes. I'll just press enter. Yes. Where do you see this denomination screen? Where do you put up? Have you filled the pay? Huh? It is the bank. In pay-in slips you or now actually all of you use the digital online, but in case you have filled up the pay-in slips,
I'll
yes, your
deposit.
parents would have done. So it's a deposit slips. So there only you see this denomination. Yes, we fill up in this. How many 2,000 notes, 200 notes we have. Yes, the same will be put up in Tally software. Now, if we take the amount as 5,000, okay, 5,000. Suppose you're having 2,000, 500, 200, whatever. 2,000 I'll put up as two. Type two. Once you type 2,000 into 2, press enter. So I'm having 4,000. 1,000 rupees is there, issued in India, circulating in India. No, we don't have 1,000 denomination. So we have to press enter and we have 500. Yes. So 500 into 2 notes. So 2,000 into 2, 500 into 2. So press enter 500 into 2. Yes. Now, all of you have got total 5,000 rupees.
Mom.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
You want me to repeat it? 2,000, type it into 2. 2,000 into 2 have you typed? Once you type, press enter. You get 4,000 immediately. Okay. Next, 500. Press enter, enter, come down. Okay. Stop at 500. Type 2 there. Just type 2, number 2, and press enter. You get 1,000. And immediately it will total up to 5,000 rupees.
Yes, ma'am.
Very good. Press enter. Now again you come back to the bank allocation screen. Now here instrument INST means what? Why this instrument number is check number. Suppose you're using a check deposit, right? That check number has to be given and the bank name. But as of now we are using only cash. So we are not going to fill up all these fields. And please don't remove the date here. Okay. So what you have to do is you have to just press enter and come back to the narration. Now, narration what you type being cash deposited into the bank. Narration also carries marks. So, being cash deposited into the bank. Don't have the habit of skipping narrations. I know it is almost done by 50. Right. So being cash deposited into the bank. Give it in short. So once you type the narration, accept yes. So you pass the first contra entry. I've left the entry as it is, see, cash to ICICI Bank with the narration. You can cross check and pass the entry. All of you have done?
Yes, ma'am.
Super.
Mom,
Ah,
can you just show that cash allocation again?
yes, yes, yes. 1 minute, 1 minute. Yeah, I'll answer. Let me answer Kashish actually. Kashish, this is for you. Current balance in my screen is same as debit and credit balance. Didn't get denomination screen. So what you have to do is current balance in my screen is same. So debit and credit you have to choose it. So I will repeat another entry for cash deposit, Kashish. You can just go for it. Okay. I'll just repeat the same entry again. You can just see where you have made a mistake, Kashish. And Janisha, you didn't get the denomination screen. You have to just check the transaction type. Okay, so I'll repeat the same entry with some other bank, some other amount. Probably Janisha you can make out. Okay, in case you have updated anything else. Fine. Yes. Yes. Tell me, you had a doubt. Yes. Was it Janisha who had unmuted herself? Okay.
No,
Right.
mom, it was me. Uh,
Anjali. Yeah. Tell me,
Anjali.
Anjali. Uh,
Mom, can you just show the cash allocations again for ICICI Bank you showed?
the cash denomination screen.
Ah, yes, ma'am.
Okay. Credit, cash, debit, ICICI Bank is there, right? And you have given us 5,000 in the amount column.
Yes, ma'am.
So once you type the amount as 5,000 on the debit column, press enter. Now you have got the bank allocation screen.
Mom, just a minute.
Yeah.
Mm. Enter. Mm. Yes, ma'am.
Now transaction type is cash over there.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you leave it as it is. You're not going to touch it up. Now
Okay.
amount 5,000 is there. So press enter on 5,000. Now you get the denomination screen.
Yes, ma'am.
Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Now 2,000 into 2, 500 into 2. 2,000 into is there. No, type 2 there. But moment you type 2, press enter. It will come 4,000 automatically.
Mm. Yes, ma'am, I
Okay?
got it. Yes, ma'am, I
Very good.
got it. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, welcome. So being cash deposited into the bank. So accept yes, we'll pass the first entry. Now a few of them are having the problem with debit and credit and the amount. What I'll do is I'll repeat another entry with a different bank with a different amount. Okay. So what we'll do is deposit of cash of 10,000 into Axis Bank. We have changed the transaction here. Okay. So this I'll just remove it up. So here, what you have to do is instead of ICICI, you will go for the Axis Bank. Yes. So deposit of cash of 10,000 into Axis Bank. So how do you pass the entry in contra? Credit 10,000 Here, 10,000. Axis Bank. Yes. Same entry. Instead of ICICI, we're going for Axis. This is just a small one round for you so that it will be a revision, the first entry when you're passing. Later on, it becomes usual, normal for you. Okay, shall we pass this entry? Deposit of cash of 10 into Axis Bank. Fine. So I'm going back to the gateway of Tally. Now, for the ones who are not able to get Kashish, Janisha, and for the others, okay, please look here. Now we are in the contra voucher. So here you have the credit aspect first. Okay, make sure it is CR. Okay, here type select cash in the list of ledgers, select cash, and how much you're depositing into the Axis Bank, 10,000 rupees. So type 10,000. Once you
Excuse
type
me,
the
ma'am.
amount as 10,000, yes, pa.
Ma'am, see, when you clicked on cash, the current
Huh.
balance in your screen is 4,45,000.
Huh.
So in my screen, it is like 5,000. So I just want to increase that. So how can I do that?
How, what is the opening balance you've put up in cash?
Um, I missed a step in between. That is what I'm not able to get. What step did I miss?
Okay. I
And
got your
for the
point.
pre,
Hmm.
okay.
Hmm. I got your point. What you should do is, okay, fine, you have missed in the between. You have to give the opening balance of cash bar. Now, every company will have an emergency cash, right, in its company locker. That you have to put up
Yes,
in
ma'am.
Tally because Tally will not know what is the cash company is having. So what you should do is, okay, fine. I know where you're hung up. Now you go back to the gateway of Tally quickly, right? Now here,
Yes, ma'am.
go to the alter option, select alter, select ledger under accounting masters, selected ledger. Now select cash. Now your cash account is open.
Yes, ma'am.
Now you are in the ledger alteration window, cash ledger alteration window. Now what you have to do,
Yes, ma'am.
press enter, come straight to the opening balance. Don't do any changes. Come straight to the opening balance. There you put up 5 lakhs. Put up 5 lakhs. Okay. Once you type the amount, press enter, accept, yes. Huh?
Yes, ma'am.
Mom,
Ah,
after selecting alter in that ledger, after that, what we have to do, ma'am? Even I missed.
how many of you missed it? Okay, fine. Now, see, listen to me. The ones who have missed this this is not the in between step here. It's the main step only you have missed. See, in the ledger alteration window, what you do is you straight come to the opening balance, but don't do any change in cash account. Okay, cash account, straight come to the opening balance. All of you have come, the one who have missed. Okay, now you put up the opening balance here. You put up a big amount only, like 4 lakhs, 5 lakhs, okay, in the initial stages. Once you type the amount, now here I've given as how much? 4 lakh 50,000. Okay, so you put up the amount, type the amount as 4 lakh 50, 5 lakh, 6 lakhs. Choice is yours. Okay, once you put up the amount, press enter, accept yes or no will come, accept yes. Okay, now so the step one is done successfully.
Yes, ma'am.
Right, good. So now we are done. This was the first main step. Now we press escape. We'll come back to the gateway of Tally and we'll go back to the vouchers. Under transactions, you have vouchers and we'll go to the contra voucher. See, check it as contra. It will be sometimes payment at the top. You see, it should be contra. I have not got contra. Press F4. That's all. It's a contra voucher. Okay. Now you pass the entry. For Axis Bank, you pass directly. Then you can repeat it for ICICI. Okay. So credit now, see, it will be CR by default. Okay. So credit cash. Now can you see the current balance now? It will be a reduction
Yes,
because of the
ma'am.
previous. So now type 10,000 here. Type 10,000. Once you type 10,000 in the credit column, press enter. Now DR will be there. DR. Don't type anything on that. Please don't do. Just press enter. First you press enter. You should get the list of ledger accounts there. Okay. Now how we created on spot ICICI Bank? In the same way, we will create Axis Bank. That's all. So at the top, can you see create option is there? Top of that list of ledgers, see here, I'm showing you through the pointer. Create option is there. So click on that create option and type the ledger, create the ledger on spot. Axis Bank. Okay. So enter bank account. Don't select OCC, OD, overdraft and cash credit. First one, bank account. As I told, account number, IFSC code, I will leave it to you. Okay. So press enter, enter, accept, yes, accept, yes, enter. Now you're able to get a complete entry now. Cash to debtor to Axis Bank, Kashish, Janisha, and the rest who were not
Yes,
able to
ma'am.
get.
Thank you.
Super. So now press enter on this 10,000 now. Now you will get the bank allocation screen. Now transaction type will be cash itself because again I'm depositing cash of 10,000 into Axis Bank. So not change it. Now I'll just press enter. Yes, I get the denomination screen. Now here 10,000 rupees. We can suppose I'm having 2,000 denomination notes. 2,000 into 5. One shot I can give 10,000 rupees. So I got the total 10. Okay. Now press enter. Need not give any bank name. Press enter. You'll come directly to the narration. So again, the cash deposited into the bank. Type the narration and pass the entry. Accept yes or no. Yes. All of you are able to pass this entry. None of you are stuck up somewhere in any way. Yes. Right. Now I'll give the last entry, the same one, just change the bank and the amount. Why? Because the first entry, if you're sure enough, if you have the grip, the consecutive entries will become very, very easier for you. Okay? Now, I'll do one thing. Here, here there is one more entry which you can pass. Not the second one, withdrawal. Withdrawal I will not teach you today, probably because withdrawal will require another set of discussions. Can you see here? It is fifth entry, deposit of cash equally for Canara Bank and ICICI Bank. Or better you can try the last one. We'll not go for the two banks. Probably we can go for the last one. Opened a bank account with SBI for 35,000. Now so far we have done for deposit for Canara Bank, Axis Bank and ICICI Bank, right? Now we'll go for the SBI. And how much we're depositing to it through State Bank of India? It is 35,000. So the last entry you can pass. The rest we will take care of later. Okay. So open the bank account with SBI rupees 35,000. So what we'll do, same, credit cash, how much? 35,000, enter. Again, what you'll do, you're not going to type anything on DR, enter. SBI Bank is already existing. You had created in the list of ledgers, right, in yesterday's session. So SBI Bank, we need not create a spot ledger. Okay, so press enter. Select in the list of ledgers SBI. 35,000 will appear. Okay, now press enter. Same cash will appear in the transaction type. Press enter. Now, same thing. 2,000 into how many notes we can give for 35,000? The nearest amount. I will give as
17.
70. Very good. 17 notes. So 34,000. Again, one more thousand. 500 into 2. Of course, depending upon what is the cash denominations I have, I can give. Here it is just practice for you how to give up the denominations in tally. So 500 into 2,000. So round figure I'm having 35. Right? So 35. Now the question comes, suppose if I give little more amount by mistake I would have given, you please don't do it. You can just watch out what can happen. Please don't repeat what I'm doing here. Suppose by mistake I would have given 5,000 into 3 notes. Can you see what happens? Tally is showing as oops, total amount cannot be greater than the allocated amount. So Tally is communicating you 35,000 you're depositing in SBI, and here you're giving as 30 5,500. 500 is an extra. You can't do so. It will not allow you to pass the entry itself. So even though if I as a user make a mistake, Tally is very conscious. So I just showed you one small instance. Okay. So I'll be back to that. 500 into 2. See now it's back to normal. Okay. So enter, being cash, deposit rate. Accept? Yes. Okay, so how do you feel, all of you, after passing 3-4 entries under contra voucher? Yeah? Confident now? The first entry when you pass, it will be like
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
very
ma'am.
good. Right. So what we'll do in the next class, that's on Monday, right? So that day we will go with the withdrawal, interbank transfer, additional concepts on contra. Because today, if I do, what happens on the same day, I cannot go for the varieties of the entries because mine will go on for a confusion, which I don't want to do. So right now, whatever has been done, please practice it again. It's my humble request for all of you. Okay. And yes, the recordings have been shared for all of you, right? Yeah, you have received in the group. It's been sent 6th and 7th October's. So please have a view of that and please make your practice. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Done. So let's close the session. What you do, press escape key and you can quit. Now before quit, now you can go for it. Now anyone has any doubt regarding any entry or something, or all are very much clear. So have no questions raised in the chat box. So I hope all are clear. So can we
Yes, ma'am.
conclude the session for the day?
Ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay, done. So we'll meet up for the next session. Thank you all.
Ma'am, it will
Thank
be
you,
on a
ma'am.
Monday, right?
It'll be on Monday to Friday are your sessions, man. Not on
Okay,
Saturday.
ma'am.
I think it's put up in the group, right? But yeah, it's Monday to Friday. Same link is not going. If there is in case any changes, to be informed you in the group. Okay, so there's nothing to worry. So it is Monday to Friday are your classes. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So I think okay, it's been well informed for you. So and any updations, it will be put up in the group. So there's nothing to worry about it. Okay. Done.
Yes.
So we'll quit the tally program and we'll end up the session. Okay. Thank you all. Meet you up in the next
Thank
session.
Thank you.
Thank you,
you.
ma'am.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
ma'am.
ma'am.